Now, if you're wondering what the absolute best humidor is, I found it. And this is the GOAT. Hey everyone, I'm Dave with Beastmade Reviews, of course a channel dedicated to reviewing quality at different price points. Now I have a whole series of videos about cigars, and if you want to go watch that, I'll have a link up to the playlist up here. And in preparation for another video that I'm going to make about cigar storage, I came across this, and I have just got to talk about this one. Now when talking about cigar storage, there's definitely two camps of people. There's one person who wants to do something maybe cheaply or maybe DIY. Then there's the other person who wants to know what is the best? What is the best I can get to store my cigars? Today, I'm not going to talk about cheap options. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that is the absolute best for your money. Put your cigars in something like this, the Newair Boveda Cigar Electric Humidor. Now, before we go on, if you like this type of content, definitely subscribe down below. I have a bunch of videos on cigar content, more on the way as well. However, these videos usually get demonetized. So if you like these type of videos, subscribe down below, and you can also support me by going to the links down below. I have some curated pieces I think you'll really like. If you are a cigar aficionado, you can go to my BioSites website. Just go and take a look, click some of the links. I think you'll really like a lot of stuff there. Just go buy something nice. I think you really enjoy it, and that will help out the channel. I always appreciate it when you do that. And I'll also have a link to this Newair humidor as well. And I also have a coupon. You can use a coupon, save you some cash on your next purchase from Newair. Now, Newair is a company that's been around for a while, and they make really good electric coolers, essentially. They have some really great wine coolers. They have a few different models of humidors, small to large, and they're all electric. But today, I'm going to talk about their newest one, which is a Boveda collaboration with Newair. So let's go over some of the specs real quick. Now, this holds 500 cigars, which is a ton. It has cedar shelves on the inside that are already pre-seasoned. It has pull-out drawers to store your cigars. There's optional cedar pegs on the shelves to hold loose cigars in place. There's also a middle shelf that can hold cigar boxes. It includes 3 Boveda 60-gram packs, which last about 4 months. You just slide the Boveda packs inside the given containers. There's no seasoning required. Of course, this is a cooler, electric cooler, and it's temperature controlled from 54 degrees to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. You can also set it to Celsius. Has a digital readout and touch controls on the front panel on the front. There's an LED light on the inside you can turn on or off. It has heat and UV protection, so you can actually put this maybe near a window and your cigars will be totally fine. The door opens pretty wide and has recessed handles on the inside. It has a great airtight seal around the door. Of course, it smells great, smells like Spanish cedar, and it has a fan on the inside that recirculates the air. It only takes a few minutes to set up and you're ready to go. Now, the dimensions of this are 17.7 inch deep, 16.9 inches wide, and 29.1 inches high, and weighs about 56 pounds. Now, as I mentioned, this is the newest model, and this is a collaboration with Boveda, and they have the Boveda branding on there as well. And they have some larger humidors, and they even have some smaller ones as well. Both of those are not branded with Boveda, only this one is, but I wanted to mention that for comparison's sake if you're looking for maybe something smaller or even larger. But for the size, I think it's absolutely great. It holds 500 cigars, which is an absolute ton of cigars. I cannot even imagine having that many, but I know some people have even more than that, which you're crazy, I guess. I don't know. And this is definitely not a small humidor. This is not a desktop style humidor, but I think for its size, this is actually very practical because it holds a ton of cigars in a relatively small package for what you get here. Now, there are other options out there, like maybe an ice cooler or even a wooden humidor, but for each of those, once you get to this size capacity, it's much larger than what you get with this electric humidor. So I don't think you can beat the sheer density of cigars per inch that you get with this humidor. And if you have a lot of cigars, I think it's always great and very practical to have more space in your humidor than you actually need. But besides the capacity, I think there's lots of things to love about this as well. I love the fan. I love that it has a fan that recirculates the air. That's not something that you get in just a passive humidor. You have to constantly kind of shuffle the cigars around. This kind of alleviates that problem, recirculating the air, so make sure all the humidity gets to everywhere. I love the Boveda packs included. I love that it's really ready to go right out of the box. All you have to do is just put cigars in there, and that's really it. I love some of the little things, like I love the light on the inside. I love the door. Just the design of the door is nice. It opens really wide. It's easy. It doesn't bump into anything. It's a great design of a door. I love the front panel. I love the temperature readout on the front. You can just set it and forget it. Now, I think this is almost a perfect humidor, but the one thing that I think is really a downside to this is that there's no hygrometer. There's no reading of humidity on the inside. The only indication you have of your humidity are the Boveda packs, and you can just kind of guess if that's right. The thing about that is that depending on how much space you have left in your humidor will depend on how much humidity is actually in the humidor. If your humidor is stuffed with cigars, you're going to have less humidity depending on how well humidified those cigars are before going in there. So it's really important to have a hygrometer reading. And it really seems like an oversight to not have that on here. You have a temperature reading on the front. Why not a hygrometer? It just seems like one extra step. If it had that on there, it would have been absolutely perfect, but they don't have that on here. And so because of that, you have to buy something extra. And so for that, I always recommend the Govee electric hygrometer. It's really small. It's less than 20 bucks. I think it's around 15 bucks actually. It syncs up to your phone by Bluetooth and sends you push notifications, so you can check that just on your phone. It's calibrated really well and very accurate, so I really always recommend that. So when you get this humidor, just add $15 to your overall budget of a humidor and just go with that. Now, there are some other small gripes, but these are just kind of nitpicks about the general design of something like this to start with. For one, it's electric, which means it needs power. You have to put it near a power outlet, of course. You have to put it out in the open, which you might not be comfortable with in some spaces. There's a glass panel on the front, which I think is cool, but everyone can see what's inside. There's no lock. It is on the large side, so you have to consider floor space. The LED panel on the front and the light on the inside are both great, but the front panel doesn't have any dimmer option, so it's just full brightness all the time. And though the fan on the inside is pretty quiet, in the dead of night, you might hear the fan kind of whir around a little bit, like you might on a refrigerator. Now, besides the lack of a hygrometer, the other nitpicks that I have there are not deal killers at all. If you're looking for an electric style humidor, you're already considering those to start with, so I don't think these are really deal killers in the slightest. So if you have a sizable cigar selection and you want to hold them in style, this is the best option that I have seen. I have seen other ones that are cheaper. I've seen other ones that are smaller. There's some that require no power. There's some DIY options as well, but this one is really the Cadillac, the luxury version of a humidor. It's easily at the top of its class. Now, this is not for everyone. There are people that might want to store their cigars differently, and this is definitely not an inexpensive one, but for the price and for the size, I think this is really fair, and I think this is still the king of electric humidors. This is absolutely the greatest humidor of all time, the GOAT. So if you're looking for an electric style humidor, definitely check out the Newair Boveda 500 count electric humidor. I think you'd really like it. And of course, if you want more info or if you're looking to buy one, definitely check out the link down below. And if you want to see another video on what I didn't know about cigars, go watch that up there. And if you want to go see a video about great cigar accessories, go look at it up there. Thanks again for watching. I'm Dave with Beast Made Reviews. Bye. And it holds 500 cigars.